Father's gonna come in and beat him off, and that's really gonna impress the mom, and then she's gonna want to hook up with him instead of her own son.
He's like, what the hell did I walk into? Hey guys, Dennis Machina here. Thanks for hanging out today. We're going to be reacting to another pitch meeting from Screen Rant, and it comes from one of my favorite movies of all time. This is Back to the Future, and I have a few ideas of where he's going to be going with it, but it'll be interesting to see what he does with it. And before we get into it, if you haven't already, please go over and support Screen Rant and Ryan George. He's absolutely fantastic. He's so funny. I'll leave a link to both those channels along with a link to the original video in the description. And if you enjoy what you see here today, it means the world to me if you give that like button some love and subscribe for more daily reactions. Without any further ado, thank you.
Oh, you have a movie for me?
Yay!
Yes, sir, I do. It's gonna be called Back to the Future.
Oh, okay. Not sure about that title. I'll try to come up with something else.
Okay, I mean,
Nope.
I feel like that works, though.
Well,
It
we'll
does.
see. So what happens in this thing?
Well, we're gonna meet this teenager, Marty McFly, and he's hanging out at his friend's house, this wacky old scientist guy, Dr. Emmett Brown.
Oh, and how did they become friends?
Somehow, I imagine.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Right, because they never actually explain that in the movie.
Okay, thank God. So Doc Brown, he's real wacky. He says "Great Scott" all the time.
Oh, Scott is tight.
Fantastic. So Marty's life is pretty crappy.
Sure.
Like, his dad gets bullied by this guy named Biff. His mom is an alcoholic. His brother has a crappy job. And his sister can't find a boyfriend.
Yikes.
And then one night, Doc brings Marty to a shopping mall parking lot because he built a time machine out of a DeLorean.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so we're going to have this really fun scene where they engage in some casual, animal testing.
Oh, my God, what?
Yeah, Doc puts his dog inside
Yeah,
the DeLorean
apparently
and sends
this-
him into the future. And you know what? He doesn't die.
Is Doc the bad guy?
What would make
No,
you think
no.
he's the bad guy? So anyway, then the terrorist
Yeah, all putting his dog at great risk. I didn't even think of that.
been dealing with show up.
You're sure he's not the bad guy?
Yeah, no. He ripped these guys off for some plutonium, so they murder him.
Oh, what is going on?
Oh.
And so Marty escapes in the DeLorean and accidentally goes back to 1955.
That's in the past.
It certainly
is.
sir. And so he's gonna run into his dad, George McFly.
Oh, that's interesting. An encounter with his dad in the past.
Yeah. And so pretty much immediately he finds out that his dad's a peeping Tom.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
saves his dad from getting
Yeah, a little weird.
hit by a car, but then he gets hit by a car.
Oh.
And so he's taken in by his mom, Lorraine's family, and she is all over him when he wakes up. I mean, she really wants to sleep with him.
Yeah, very much so.
What are you talking about?
See, the whole thing is that Marty's parents met after George was hit by that car, but now since Marty was hit by the car, Lorraine just wants to hook up with him. She's on a path to end up with him.
Right, okay, I feel like that's pretty messed up for a movie.
Yes,
It is kind of messed up, yeah.
Lorraine's trying really hard to get into her son's pants.
I do not like that sentence.
Well, she doesn't know that it's her future son.
I don't see how that's going to be fun for anyone to watch.
I feel like everybody's gonna love it.
Well, if you say so. So
I
what
mean, everyone kind of did, though, which is the funny part.
happens?
Well, so Marty's gonna spend the movie trying to get his dad to hook up with his mom instead of him, because the future's getting all messed up now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he goes to see Doc in 1955, and Doc is like, uh-oh, Marty, this isn't good.
How can he tell?
Well, Marty has this photo with him from the future, and you can see his siblings starting to disappear from it bit by bit, because they were never born.
So that exact photo at that exact time, at that exact angle, was still taken despite the wildly different circumstances?
That's what we're going
Yes.
with.
Well, okay then.
So anyway,
Apparently.
Marty hatches a plan to get Lorraine to go to the dance with George instead of him and get them to fall in love.
How does he plan on doing that? Sorry, sir,
Oh.
can I just...
Oh.
Just a minute, Larry. So
Oh,
what's the
wait,
plan?
what?
He's gonna pretend to force himself
Larry?
on his own mother, and then his father's gonna come in and beat him off, and that's really gonna impress the mom, and then she's gonna want to hook up with him instead of her own son.
He's like, what the hell did I walk into?
Okay, I'm gonna go. You sure? You can stick around. No, I insist.
No,
I insist.
no,
Not sure what
go
that guy's
away
problem
now.
was, so how does the plan play out?
Oh, well, turns out that bully Biff shows up, and he actually tries to force himself on Lorraine.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's really going at it. He's really trying to take advantage of this
Yeah.
girl.
And you're sure this is a family movie?
Yes.
I'm telling you, I feel
Yeah,
like it's
it totally
something classic.
is.
So then George really does save the day by standing up to Biff and punching him out.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, and then
One
at that
hell of a
school
punch.
dance, Marty's gonna play "Johnny Be Good" by Chuck Berry.
Great song.
And it turns out
It really
Chuck
is.
Berry's cousin is there, so he calls Chuck and he's like, "Hey, you know that new sound you're looking for?"
So Chuck Berry steals the song Johnny Be Good from over a phone.
He does, yeah, fun little tidbit.
But if Marty hadn't
Apparently.
performed it, Chuck Berry would have come up with it word for word just a couple of years later.
Right, but now in this timeline, Chuck Berry's a plagiarist, so it's fun.
Right, okay.
I didn't even think of that one either. That's so
That's a
good.
fun moment.
So anyway, now that Marty's ensured that his parents are gonna procreate, he has to go back to the future.
That's the name of the movie.
That last part of the sentence, yeah, not the whole sentence.
Okay, so yeah, I actually did just think of a title that might be a bit better.
What's
Okay.
that?
What if we call it Spaceman from Pluto?
Spaceman
Man
from
from
Pluto?
Pluto?
Yeah, that is a real note that a Hollywood studio executive is giving. Let's call it Spaceman from Pluto instead of Back to
Oh.
the Future.
Oh, I feel like you know, God no.
Well, we'll
God,
see.
no.
Okay, to be discussed, I guess.
So
No.
what else happens?
Well, Doc and Marty need to use this famous lightning strike on a clock tower to power the time machine back to the 80s.
Okay.
And before they do, Marty gives Doc a letter informing him that he's going to be shot in the future and he needs to protect himself.
Oh, smart.
But Doc is like, no, I cannot know any information about the future. The results could be disastrous. So he tears the letter up.
Oh, no.
But then Marty's like, oh, I have a time machine. I could just go warn him in the future.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever. So he gives himself 11 minutes.
Whoa, why would he give himself 11 minutes? Why not give himself a couple of hours or even days?
Well, he's
That
gonna
would
give
make more
himself 11
sense.
minutes because it's more exciting this way.
Fair enough. So is it going to be tough for Doc to survive?
Actually, it's going to be
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it turns out Doc taped the note back together, so he puts on a bulletproof vest.
Oh, well, thank God he did a complete 180 on his passionate speech about knowing about the future.
Yeah,
Really
good
worked
thing,
out.
huh?
So then Marty goes to see his family, and they're just completely different now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, his dad's a super successful author. His brother has a great job. His sister has a good dating life.
George is a rich author and they still live in the same house?
They do.
The brother has a good office job and he still lives at home?
He does?
Yep.
Well, okay then.
Oh, and also now
That totally checks out. And another thing that I completely missed. Wow, this is so good from start to finish.
gets hired by George to wax his car.
George hired the guy who tried to assault his wife?
He did. He's like, that Biff is such a character. He's always trying to get away with something.
Like assaulting his wife?
Yeah.
He's a character. And so now Marty gets to go on a date, and he has a nice car.
Now wait, so his entire family have had a different life, but Marty still has the memories and experiences of the original timeline?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
So what happens to the version of Marty that was living with the family on this new timeline that they were interacting with on a daily basis?
So
Get off my back about it?
Don't worry about any of that.
Oh, okay, I won't.
Great. So what do you think?
Okay.
Well, it sounds insane and inappropriate in several ways, but
Yes,
somehow I
very
do
much
think it'll
so.
be a classic.
Oh yeah, nobody's ever gonna dare to even think about remaking this thing.
Oh, wait. It is? It's happening? Tom Holland confirms Back to the Future remake talks have happened. Tom Holland reveals Back to the Future reboot talks have occurred, and he was part of them. He addressed the deep fake of him and Robert Downey Jr. And then there were just so many things here that would make this incredibly inappropriate because this is supposed to be a family movie. But obviously the first part of it is a mom hitting on the son, a guy before trying to force himself on another woman. And then, the whole thing of Chuck Berry, like hearing the whole song of Johnny B. Good over the phone and then plagiarizing it instead of actually writing it himself word for word. And then there's the whole thing of, because all the time travel stuff in movies is always so weird when they try to explain it, right? Because when he would go back to the present, you would think like his mind would sort of warp into that little time frame and have all those memories then, but he doesn't. And that's never actually fully explained because he has all of his memories from his past, but now he's going to have new memories combined with old memories of, I guess, a former life. It's just super weird, but I still really enjoy this movie for what it was, and I look forward to watching it the next time that it's on TV. And before we go, I would like to give a huge shout out to all of my supporters on Patreon, Marvin Espinoza, Cruising, and Wolverine310. Thank you guys so much, and with that being said, comment down below. Let me know, what did you think about Back to the Future? Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, if you want to see past reactions, I've done the other pitch meetings. Got a nice playlist right up there full of videos for you. Share this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Ring the notification bell because I put up new videos every single day. And I'll see you guys next time.